Sherilyn, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. I want to start with the recent decision that we got from a federal judge in Maryland just late yesterday, blocking Trump's executive order to move forward with terminating DEI-related grants and contracts. It's good news, and for a very significant legal reason, because it means that the judge found that there's a likelihood of success on the merits of the case that was brought by these. But kind of talk a little bit bigger picture too, Sherilyn, about why this really deals a significant blow to Trump's 2.0 administration.
Well, thanks, Katie. It's great to finally be with you on a Saturday morning. This was a very important order last night, as have been all of the district court orders that have slowed down Trump's effort to dismantle programs that have been in place for decades. Trump has had speed on his side. All of us have been gasping for breath as we've tried to absorb the weight and the furious pace of orders that he has unrolled that purport to transform our country, coupled with the efforts of Elon Musk, who has penetrated and infiltrated the federal government and has been laying off workers and ending programs and threatening services in our social safety net. This is particularly important because, as I wrote last week, the staggering number of Trump EOs that are targeted at issues of equity, issues particularly of racial equity, including his anti-DEI order, which he calls, radical. He wants to roll back, and he has reversed an executive order going back to President Johnson that requires federal contractors to consider contracts to minority businesses and the federal workforce to consider ensuring that they have a diverse workplace, and purports to cut off federal aid and support to all programs that advocate or engage in diversity, equity, and inclusion activities. None of those activities are illegal. The Supreme Court has not struck down diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, but the president purports to cut off funding and to strangle schools, universities, programs, local practices, cities that get money from the federal government that use DEI practices. So it was very gratifying to see this case in Baltimore and to see the federal judge note in his order that it's likely that this order has constitutional violations.
So there's an important quote from John Lewis I wanted to read right now, Sherilyn. It says, "A democracy cannot thrive where power remains unchecked and justice is reserved for a select few. Ignoring these cries and failing to respond to this movement is simply not an option, for peace cannot exist where justice is not served." Sherilyn, Trump issued an executive order last month ending the National Law Enforcement Accountability Database. It's what I call the Bad Cops Database. Yeah. That was put in place as a part of the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act. These are the types of moves that are going to have resonating impacts on not just minorities in America, but against all Americans that are trying to make sure that law enforcement does the right thing as well.
Well, this is why I think it's important to really look closely at who Trump is attempting to appeal to. So the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act never actually passed. We were never able to get it through the Senate, thanks to Republican senators blocking its move. But this effort was created by President Biden in the wake of the failure of the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act to ensure something that everyone agreed on, which is that you don't want bad cops getting kicked off of a force for misconduct and then simply going to another police force and beginning the same behavior again. We saw that in the case of one of the officers in the Breonna Taylor case. We saw that in the case of the officer who killed Tamir Rice. Officers who had been fired because their superiors did not have confidence in them and because they engaged in misconduct. And they simply moved a few towns away, joined another local police department, and started again. And so this database would have allowed police departments to be able to see, to be able to check and determine that someone applying for a job in their police department had been released from their prior job for misconduct, whether that misconduct was serious and sustained. This was supported by the International Association of Chiefs of Police. I remember saying to some of these police chiefs, no one who has ever run an organization wants to believe that they're hiring someone who should not be hired, who cannot meet minimum standards. And so Trump doing this, who is he appealing to? Why does he want to have bad cops out there? Why does he want to have rogue cops be kind of insulated from being able to operate as Flying Dutchmen, going from police department to police department? It's a degradation. It's what Trump wants, and you see this across the many cabinet picks and others that he's bringing into the administration. It's a degradation of the office itself. He wants people who are compromised in position because he believes that those people are the people less likely to push back against him, to say no, to not follow an order that he gives, to not engage in conduct that is constitutional. And so he wants that around the country. And this the decision to bring down this database is evidence of that, because there is no rational reason why we wouldn't want to know officers who had been removed from police departments for misconduct.
Sherrilyn Ifill, thank you so much for getting us started today. Such an important conversation. Can't wait to have you back. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Katie.